Hey everyone, it's Alexis with Create Your Future. I am back with a brand new video, a new success story, and as always, tips about manifesting. Today, talking about specific person, how to really change someone from within, right? That's what most of my clients are working on doing, and people book one-on-one coaching about changing the story. And today I want to talk about that. I have a great client success story to share about how she systematically used the details of her current person, of her current reality, to allow her to change and create the person from within that she wanted. And it all unfolded. So it's a great example. Before I get started, the links for booking one-on-one coaching and all of my courses and pre-recorded hypnosis audios are in the box below. Thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. And I intend that everyone is having a great summer, or if you're not in North America, then enjoying the weather wherever you are. I love the summer here where I am. And I think it's a great time to really get on top of your thoughts, to manifest what you want, and to use the energy, the revival, like the energy of the now to create momentum towards our creations. Okay. Now, so let's talk about this. This answers a lot of questions I get from clients and in the comments. Also, also everybody who watches my videos, I wanted to say, if you would like me to answer a question, I want to be specific though. If you would like me to answer a general question about manifesting, can you please put it as a comment in this video? What I cannot do in a video like this that I record is answer specific personal problem issues about your particular situation with whatever you're manifesting or your person. Like if he or she has done this and that and you want an answer, that's what coaching is for. But I've gotten a request multiple times for a Q&A video. I'm going to make one, but I want to hear from you guys. What do you want to have answered about manifesting in general, about creating someone that does not pertain to your particular situation, but is like an overarching question that you have? Please put it as a comment to this video. I will review them, take my favorites, or as many as I can, let's just say, and put it into an actual video. Okay. Now, let's talk though about how do you change the story of someone and how do we create people in our reality? Remember, you guys, that the way we create people in our reality is the story of us, the story of them, and the story of the we. All the thoughts and the cornucopia, the tapestry within that you have created about them, with them, within you. Now, you are the creator of your experience. You are the creator of your reality. You are ground zero. You are the manifester of the people that you see, who they show up as, and how they show up, what their personality is like. Because when you focus on them being a certain way, they show up a certain way. So how do you change the story? Okay. I want to say, like I've said in a lot of videos recently, this isn't an easy peasy thing. This is not something that for a lot of people to get real traction, to get real movement, get real momentum happens like overnight, but it is the simplest, quickest, easiest thing to do when you understand it. Your consciousness and your subconscious are being influenced right now by the thoughts that you're thinking, the perception that you have, and the meaning that you're giving to things. So the client that I'm referencing, she lived with her specific person. They're married, and there were a bunch of things about him that he was doing, he was saying, how he was acting, and a lot of things about him that she just didn't like. Okay, so this is not like a breakup to makeup success story. It isn't a divorce to marriage success story, but it is her changing the story of him because she was thinking about when she booked coaching, she was like, I'm not really into him as much as I used to be. I feel like I'm not getting the version of him that I deserve. I'm not experiencing the lifestyle that I envisioned us having in our marriage. I'm really surprised at what I've created here because it wasn't what I expected. It wasn't what was on my trajectory. It wasn't what I was anticipating. And I frankly feel very disappointed and disenchanted about living with him, right? And there are a myriad of people, you guys, that are manifesting for things with people and changes. And I want to say, you also want to look at all success stories as a success. And this is a huge one, right? So she changed so many things about him. And we did have a list going of all the opposites that she wanted, but a lot of it came down to changing how he treated her, how he showed up, how he communicated with her, how they had their conversations, how she also felt about him. We had to change a lot of those things too. Okay. So how do you really do that? It comes down to, my first advice is, if you are embarking on this journey, to see it as a journey, see it as an evolvement of self, and see it as you're really learning how to fine tune and recreate your reality, create your reality better, and influence your consciousness with who you want the person to be. That's all we're ever doing. Most likely, if you have found this, or you're working on this, or you're one of my clients who is embarking on this journey, you already know this, right? But to start out, you want to get clear with, who are they? Who have I created them to be? And you can even ask yourself questions like, who are they similar to? How did I create this person to be this way? Oh, they remind me of so-and-so, or they're so much like so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so. So then when they begin to act that way, I took it on as fact, and I created over and over again that they are this way. Because, like, as an example, if you think someone is aggressive, mean, rude, is always unkind, the more that you think of them that way, and the more that you hold them that way within you and your consciousness, they show up that way. So this client and her person, he was very similar to that kind of stuff. Like, they would have arguments. He would be too aggressive. She was just growing less and less interested in being with him. Now, you would have to ask, like, why didn't she just break up? Or why did, in her case, she divorce? Well, she had a lot of other things that really, she was disinterested, let's just say, in leaving. She also just wanted to see if she could make it work. She wanted to see if she could consciously recreate this enough that she was, again, attracted to him, that she wanted to be with him, and that they could live, like, the happily ever after, or what she had really designed for them to be. Because what she had wanted for them to be, and what she had first initially thought for them to be when they got married, was drastically different than what ended up manifesting. Okay. So she found the channel, she found me, and I asked her, like, okay, so tell me about how you saw things going before we got to this point. Right. Because the way she termed it is, things are really bad. Things are really awful. This is not going anywhere. It's not where I wanted to go. Oh, and they do have 2 kids. Okay. So there was also that. So she also had been married before. She didn't want to be divorced twice. And the kids and everything, she kind of had like a tie that binds. Now, I want to say, if you are one of my clients that you don't have a tie that binds in that way with your SP, you don't have to have one. I might put that into the Q&A video. I've heard from people recently, maybe success story people just have more of a connection with the person, and that's why the person changes. Or maybe there's just more ties that bind, Alexis, like you say in videos, and that's why it works. None of that's true. None of that's true. I am just saying that from her perspective. That's also why she didn't want to leave. They had the kids together. She had already been married before. She didn't want to be divorced twice. She wanted to make it work. She wanted just to see, like, can I be happy here? Also, she loved their house, right? I get it. So in any event, that was our jumping off point. But I said to her, what did you love before? And what were you planning on it being like? Right. And she had a lot of travel ideas. She wanted to own more property with her husband. And she really wanted that like what I call like a juicy emotional conviction and connection about each other. We get each other. We're on the same page. We're thriving. I'm thriving. I'm loving this. I am seeing it move forwards, and that this is getting better and better. And I feel that my needs are met. I want to say too, that like a lot of people I talk to, and I know that in my own journey, and I told her, your basic needs, the needs that you have as a person, do you think that they're being met? She said, well, what do you mean? I said, well, your needs for feeling secure, feeling comfortable, feeling happy, thriving. Thriving, I don't really consider a basic need, but feeling safe, feeling secure, feeling stable in your reality, and feeling stable in your relationship, and feeling like you're also living the lifestyle that you envisioned, and that you can do all the things that you want to do. And she said, no. I said, so I think that not having your needs met and not being a priority in the household is causing a lot of mayhem and a lot of havoc. It's reverberating onto the other areas, and it's creating the story of him that he's not providing these things. He's not being the person you want him to be, etc. Right. Okay. So let me get to the success story. This is a short success story, which is also why I picked it. All right. Hi, Alexis. Just wanted to finally write in my first initial success story after working with you for 4 months. I am so happy to say that I have once and for all been able to transform and change the story of my specific person within me. When I came to coaching with you, there were so many things happening that were unwanted that I realize now that I began to internalize and repeat and to think over and over again about the things that were unwanted. You really gave me a light bulb moment when you specifically told me that my needs weren't being met in my marriage and that was causing a problem with everything. I really hadn't even considered my needs for quite a while, especially after we had 2 kids together. So I realize now that changing the story of myself, changing the story of him, and changing the story of us, like you say in your videos, is really where it's at. Now, actually doing that was something that I was not doing before I began coaching with you. You showed me and gave me the tools how to actually listen to my current story, how to create the story of what I want instead, and how to persist and focus on it, even in the face of the 3D when things were happening that I did not want. I want to tell everyone too that I always thought that I had to ignore my 3D reality and be like, la, 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 nothing bad is happening in order for it to manifest. But you also told me that I didn't have to do that. I was given tools by you instead about how to navigate through my 3D reality and also how to actually communicate with my husband. There was no other coach that I had spoken to that had given me tools and helped me actually craft text messages and communication with him during our sessions. Wink, wink, wink. Thank you so much for all of your hand holding and asking me to get tissues when I was upset and being here for my journey along this ride. It has been a crazy and a wild one, but I can actually say that I'm so happy now that I am seeing the version of my husband that I have been creating, seeing the news story peek out and become evident. And I feel like now I am once and for all learning how to think I am thriving, believe I am thriving, getting my needs met, and it's coming all together. Thank you so much. See you soon. All right. So the key thing there is about the story, changing the story, changing how she's viewing him. And also, like, I thought the funny thing was about how I did, and I do this with clients. I've never said it in a video, but I do help a lot of people I work with craft like text messages or conversations or communication with their person, because most of us have not been taught how to communicate from what we're actually feeling. We're usually communicating from a logical, if we're angry, frustrated, or sad, we're communicating from the emotion instead of the actual feeling behind the emotion. So that's what she's talking about. Okay. And she found it very useful. So it's kind of nice. She put it in there. So yeah, but a lot of this came down to, like it always does, you guys, changing the story, changing the thoughts. We first of all got very clear on who is he. And I had her tell me deeply, who is he? What's his personality like? What are his interests? If you've done a session with me, you know I ask a lot of questions. I like to know all the details because it gives me more information about who are they, and then how can we most easily create the new story of who we want them to be, right? You want to use as much as you can of the person that you do like or that you can use as an advantage. This is the client too, that there were some really particular things about him she didn't like. Like she didn't like, this is so funny to say, she didn't like the kind of protein powder that he used. Like she didn't like the ingredients and he wouldn't not buy it. So she discreated and recreated that they liked the same kind of protein powder. And she had the same thing with coffee. And these things like really bothered her. I want to say it was like, we might've talked about the protein powder and the coffee off and on for like 3 sessions. Like they really had a lot of meaning because of her own story about it. And she's like a quasi nutritionist. So like it just, all of it triggered her deeply. Okay. So they really bothered her. Okay. So anyways, oh, and the protein powder and then the coffee were also giving him health problems, but he didn't agree with that. There was a bunch of like, it's kind of funny now, right? Because she's created that they buy the same kind of protein powder and that he's off of coffee. I drink coffee. I love coffee just for her situation. Say for coffee lovers, I agree. Okay. So isn't that funny? So, but it really came down to her getting specific, you guys. She persisted in all of this stuff in her mental diet. She wrote it down. We had a whole list of who he's been and then who she wanted him to be. Okay. Whatever your scenario, this applies to you, right? There's usually something with all of us that our person is doing that we kind of don't like. So try to experiment with this. Maybe it would give you like something minor to focus on, something like, you know, that like, let's say that your SP has like silverware you don't like. Maybe intend that they get all new silverware. It'll happen. It'll happen. They might get a gift. They might go on Amazon, just buy all new silverware. Wouldn't it be kind of fun to go to their house, like if you don't live together and that you see that they have all this new silverware? I certainly would find that amusing and entertaining. When I first, Alexis here, when I first began manifesting and specifically working on recreating people in my reality, I would do specific things that would be kind of funny because it would always remind me, you want to have things to go back to if you can, right? Of, oh, right, I recreated this. I manifested this with them. So that shows me I create my reality. And you don't have to have it be with them. It can be with anything. right? When I also first did this and I didn't have a person that I was working on it with, I would do things about reality, about things I wanted. That's what I've always told clients to do. It's like making a list, but it's like a list of things, you know, that are important to you, like sales on stuff you buy, that are maybe like just you feel like are super expensive, whatever. Okay. But like you guys can do this. It's so funny when I think about the protein and the coffee with this client. Okay. But like, let's really get clear on this, right? Get clear on who is your person? Like what bothers you? You're allowed to get clear on it. Let it come to light. Let the feelings about it, the aggravation, frustration, if there's anger, sadness, hurt, whatever, write it down. Like, who are they now? Right. And then you get to decide who they are, is the thing about creating your reality. You decide how they show up, who they are. Now, if the thing you write down is very similar to a lot of other people you've known, like it shows you that your reality is created by you. But that shows you also why the recreation of them, choosing who they are, choosing to view them as the way that you want them to be is difficult because you've never experienced someone of the zone of the person that you want. Okay. The mind creates what feels most familiar, most has a lot of assumptions about the expectation of that. This is how people are. This is who people are, etc. So takes diligence, right? But this client had a lot of fun with this. We had a lot of laughs. There were some tears, but once she manifested like the protein thing and then the coffee thing, she was like, Alexis, it's done. I'm getting what I want. I'm going back to thriving. You know, I love my house. I don't want to leave my kids. I was in love with him at some point. I want to be in love with him again. And I thought that was kind of interesting because a lot of people usually book sessions because they've fallen out of love. They have a new SP, but she was really determined to not like shake up all of her circumstances, which I totally understand. So yeah, but what a great way, right, to think about this. So get clear on the story of yourself within. Get clear on the story of who you want them to be. And your job is focusing on who you want them to be, who you want yourself to be. This video is more about who you want them to be, right? I've done so many videos about self-concept and the relationship affirmations, but like you guys got to realize, and we all have to realize that the people in our reality exist within us. So they get to be who you want them to be is the cool thing. I'll leave you with that. So just a reminder, put questions for me about general manifesting, not about, you're welcome to put your questions about your specific situation, but we don't answer those in comments and I cannot answer that in a video. I want to make a Q&A video and I might make a couple of them about general manifesting tips. I know a lot of my clients and a lot of our subscribers watch my playlist and watch videos like on repeat. So I think it would be good to have just general concepts that I can put into 1, 2, 3 videos and do a series. Okay, so have at it. Let me know questions. I love you guys and enjoy the week. Start the week off right, focusing on who you want people to be, because when you focus on it, they become that. All right, love you guys. See you soon. Bye.